Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Grand Slam Extreme Robots Special, coming to you live from an undisclosed secret location somewhere in the heart of Norfolk. Welcome to the show. First and foremost, this is a fan-made Robot Wars content event type thing. These are models and such that I push around with my hands, and that is what this is. So if that's not what you want, then that's a shame. Unfortunately, as we all know, Extreme Robots and Robots Live have been on hiatus because of COVID-19, and I miss it a lot, and so do many other people, and so I thought I would bring to light a lot of the robots that compete on the UK live scene and show them off in this way. There's lots and lots of robots fighting today. We have spinners, we have non-spinners, we have the Extreme Robots format, so look forward to lots of fun fights coming your way in just a few minutes. We're going to start off by introducing our 4 team captains. We have 4 teams, each of them captained by one of their own robots, interestingly. And without further ado, we're going to introduce that first team now. It is Team Shock, and their team captain in the first fight is Manta. Manta there in the arena. Next up, representing Team Eruption, it is Eruption! Next up, representing Team Ripper, it is Ripper. And finally, representing Team Gabriel, it is Gabriel. So our 4 team captains are in the arena, ready for the first fight of the event. Place your bets in the chat. Who do you think is going to win? Will it be Team Shock, Team Eruption, Team Ripper, or Team Gabriel? Who are you rooting for? Let's find out. But if you will all join me, first of all, in counting me down, starting from 3.
Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1.
So here we go, the 4 team captains going at it. First and foremost, Eruption and Ripper coming out for a big flip. Team Shock there with Manta going for a flip as well. Manta looking quite small in comparison to the other robots. You can see the big lumbering sword of Gabriel coming over as well. Eruption struggling to self-right here on the floor. Flipper and flipped onto the flame pit. Meanwhile, what's going on with the other robots? Manta underneath Ripper with a big flip. Ripper self-right in fine style. Quite a big flip there for a self-right, and on the floor Flipper as well. And now Ripper on their side. Can they get back down from there? Yes, they can. But on the floor Flipper once again, having to self-right again. Manta getting underneath them. Huge flip there from Manta. Meanwhile, Eruption and Gabriel are having a little tussle. Very difficult to get hold of Gabriel. A very cumbersome design for a flipper to get hold of, but Eruption seems to be doing a fine job in bullying towards this Uta zone. We've obviously got our new arena in play as well today with the new Hazard, the drum in the corner there, no longer the spikes, and we have 2 Uta zones, a big flip there from Manta, and can Gabriel escape? Yes, they can. Bit stuck behind the drum there. That was a bit interesting. Ripper coming in for a flip, and again another good one from them. And oh, good grief, Gabriel! They've gone. They're out of the arena. They're stuck. They can't get back in. And that was Ripper who did that. Good flip from them. Eruption now underneath Manta. Manta having to self-right, and they do. Flipping Eruption now across the arena. Eruption self-righting. The three flippers remain in this test fight of this. Gabriel was the one who won it, so this is all to play for at this stage. Ripper upside down, and Eruption trying to get the double, but do not manage it. Ripper trying to get a flip in on Eruption now, and they do. Manta coming round for a flip on Eruption as well. The Series 10 champions and three-time heavyweight champions of the UK. Eruption in jeopardy here. They've sensed that they are the big dogs. They are the ones that need taking out, but coming back now with a few furious flips on Ripper. Another flip attempt there from Ripper, but to no avail, and Manta comes in for a flip as well. Very low is Manta, getting underneath Ripper. Ripper stuck on their side once again. The arena button has been pressed, the drum is spinning. What will we see happen now? Eruption flipping Ripper all over the arena. I'm not sure if Ripper can get down from there. I really don't know. They have been flipped. They're trying to self-right, and they've been righted now by Eruption. Eruption not managing. Oh, good flip there from Ripper. This fight is coming to an end very soon. Will we see another robot fall, or will this go to the judges, i.e. all of you in chat, be ready. This could be a big decision to make. Three robots have done very well in this fight. Unfortunately, Gabriel out of it. The fight is over. Let us know in chat who you think the winner of that fight was. It's out of Eruption, Ripper and Manta. A very good fight there. Unfortunate for Gabriel to go so early on, but that's the way this goes. Just wait for the chat to catch up with the action. Very close fight, that one. Could go any of the three ways. Few votes for Manta in the chat, a couple for Eruption. This is going to be an interesting decision, but I think... oh, I'm not sure. This could go either way. Still, these three robots fought very hard in that fight. I think the chat has voted on Manta, the winners of the first fight. Team Shock getting the first point on the board. The two top teams for points at the end of today's session will go head to head in a final, so we might see one of these other robots back again, depending on how well their teams do. What a good fight that first one was, and we are going straight into another with our non-spinners fighting for Team Ripper. It is Deadlock. And also fighting for Team Ripper, it is Thor! And their opponents of Team Gabriel, we have two-headed Death Flamingo.
Black, white, green or blue, show off your natural hue. Flamingo, oh 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 oh. If you're multicolored, that's cool too. You
And finally for Team Gabriel, it is Iron Ore 5. So there we can see the 4 teams in the arena ready to do battle. It is Team Ripper against Team Gabriel. Who will win it? Who will get the points? We shall have to wait and find out. Tell me in the chat who you're rooting for. And without further ado, stamp your feet, clap your hands, count me down. Here we go.
Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1. Activate.
So no tag team rules here. It is a free-for-all as teams Ripper and Team Gabriel go at it. Two-headed Death Flamingo is going for Thor. Iron Ore 5 and Deadlock are having a little tussle, not managing to get that good a flip on Deadlock there from Iron Ore 5. That was a better one though. Deadlock flung through the air, now coming to try and assist their friends in Thor. Iron Ore 5 flipping Thor over and getting stuck on the beaks of Two-Headed Death Flamingo there. Thor trying to get away, and they do. Now, what can what can Team Ripper do in this fight? I'm wondering if they're just going to try and go for everyone with Iron Ore 5 attacking anybody who gets in front of them. Deadlock trying to get a good grapple on Iron Ore 5, trying to get the suplex. They don't quite manage it there. Now, can Two-Headed Death Flamingo do anything else to Thor? They've managed to get another good grapple once again, trying to swing that axe over, but unsuccessful there. In comes Iron Ore 5 once again, and a big flip, and I think they managed to get an axe blow on the top of Two-Headed Death Flamingo at that point as well. Now coming in for an attack on Deadlock as Iron Ore 5 now goes for Thor. This is an interesting turnaround. They have changed who they are fighting. Wondering if they can get any good attacks, and Iron Ore 5 certainly can. There go Thor out of the arena. Deadlock, can they do anything to Death Flamingo, Two-Headed Death Flamingo? No they can't here. This is, I think it might be one-way traffic here. Iron Ore 5, a very strong flipper in this fight. Two-Headed Death Flamingo, an excellent control bot, and Deadlock and Thor just had no answer for them. Iron Ore 5 coming round to the side of Deadlock once again, another big flip, and what has happened to Deadlock there? Trying to self-right here. Can they self-right here? Yes they can. Just managing it, opening up that big wide jaw, trying to get Iron Ore 5 into it, but they do not succeed there, and it's Mingo coming in once again for a little grab, a little tussle on the flipper there. You can see the wing of Two-Headed Death Flamingo just trying to get out of the way, out of harm's way. Deadlock, self-right, coming round now. Mingo trying for another peck. Iron Ore 5 haven't moved. I think they're just sat in prime position, trying to conserve energy. They are in underneath once again, but something weird has happened to Iron Ore 5 here. Oh, they've righted, but there goes Deadlock out of the arena, and it is going to be a point to Team Gabriel. Iron Ore 5 has done all the business in this fight, but don't count out the efforts of Two-Headed Death Flamingo. They managed to get a hold of the robots, ready to tee them up for Iron Ore 5. These two excellent tag team partners, and now having a little infight amongst themselves. I don't think that's wise, boys. You might have to fight again as yet. But that is the end of the fight. Give it up for our robots. A win by knockout for Team Gabriel, and a good one at that. Well done to them. That is a point on the board for them, making up for their captain's, I don't want to say failure, but I am going to say failure in the first fight. They managed to get everything else out of the arena this time, and a win for them. Well done indeed. Up next on our fight card is a spinners fight between teams Shock and Ripper. So who is fighting for who? Well, representing Team Shock, we have their awesome spinner, Aftershock. There they are in the arena, the new Aftershock, the debuted at Extreme Robots, looking very cool indeed. And hold on to your jugulars, ladies and gentlemen, representing Team Shock as well, we have the brutal and the self-destructive Apex. Already having issues with Apex not spinning down. That could be interesting for later. Representing Team Ripper, we have their two spinners. First of all, Galactus. And it must be party time, because also representing Team Ripper, it is Cyclone 360!
Let's rock it!
There they are in the arena. Somebody's recognising the Marvel vs. Capcom instrumental there for Galactus, of course, and lovely bit of music called Cyclone from the game Geometry Dash, I believe, for Cyclone 360. Anyway, we are just about ready for action here. So without further ado, can you please stamp your feet, clap your hands, count me down. Here we go!
Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1. Activate.
So the spinners getting up to speed, or at least for Team Ripper here. Team Shock struggling to start off the battle, and I think Apex might be down already. That is unfortunate for them, but we're going to try and carry on anyway. Apex can still drive, but that spinner just not happy at all. Don't know what has happened there. It is doing an Apex without actually doing an Apex here. Quite spectacular, I realise. Ooh, big hit from Galactus on the side of Aftershock, who comes in for a hit on the side of Apex there. Cyclone 360, meanwhile, trying to have a go at Apex. That spinner on Apex, not seemingly wanting to spin up. Nope, still no life in that. Aftershock coming into the back of Galactus, turning them over. Big hit there from them, but shot across the arena was Aftershock. Good lord, a huge. I don't think anybody has quite done the damage to Aftershock like that since Magnetar back in Colchester 2019. A huge hit from Galactus, and another one. I don't know what they have been feeding Galactus, but it is a pretty powerful opponent here. Aftershock's disc does not seem to be spinning either. It's all gone a bit Pete-tong for Team Shock here. Don't know what has happened. We shall have to find out from the teams afterwards. Probably some technical issues with the spinners, but this is quite the battle it seems to be turning out to be. Aftershock still doing quite a good job of ramming into things. Cyclone 360 stuck on the pit there. Can they get off of the pit? Yes, they can. Reversing off there, spinning back up to full speed and trying to get that spinner into play. Aftershock still not quite spinning. I'm sure they are working on it. A big hit on the side of Apex from Galactus. This bar spinner has caused nothing but devastation in this fight, and I think this has all gone one way once again. Aftershock now pushing Galactus into the sidewall, pinning them against the sidewall. An excellent tactic from them. Apex trying to push Cyclone 360, who drives away, is coming in for another attack on Aftershock. Aftershock, have they got anything left in the can? They're trying to spin up. This is interesting, and a big hit on the side of Cyclone 360. They can right themselves from there though, and a big hit on the side of Aftershock coming in for an attack on Apex now with Cyclone 360, and they seem to just be ignoring the fact that their partners Galactus are pinned up against the side wall. Apex, a little death jolt there. Are they done? I think they might be finished. Aftershock trying to spin up. It's a real shame for Aftershock to have to try and deal with this fight on their own. Apex just did not get spinning, and this fight is also coming to an end. 3 minutes of almost spinning action. Well, from at least one team anyway. An excellent back and forth there. It's going to the judges, which means it's going to you lot. Not sure what happened with Apex there. Galactus pinned. 2 robots left standing, 1 from each team. Who does it go to? Team Shock or Team Ripper? Interesting end to the fight, that one. Galactus, you can see, just sort of pinned there, stuck. A real shame for them. They were being the most destructive in this fight, throwing Aftershock all over the arena, but stuck out of the way. Cyclone 360, what did they do to the others? Was it much? Was it enough? Aftershock, did they do enough? I think the chat is going for Team Ripper, which means Team Ripper gets some points on the board. And Team Shock, Aftershock and Apex, take an early loss. Shame for them, but well done to Team Ripper. So far, the only team not to score any points is Team Eruption. Will that all change in the next fight? Because they are up next with their non-spinners. We shall have a look in just a moment. Aftershock did get a KO yet, but I think the chat has gone for a unanimous, almost unanimous anyway, Team Ripper win. Well done to them. We're going to find out who is fighting next. But first of all, we're just going to see if Apex is going to work for us, because it seems a shame that it's come all this way not to be tested out in the arena. I'm going to flip this over, hit the button. It may well be the remote that's gone, which would be a shame. Don't think I have a spare. Well, either way, it was a win for Team Ripper. Unfortunate there for Team Shock. Apex kind of let them down there. That is a shame. Never mind. We move on, because we have a non-spinner fight. Nothing to go wrong there with the spinners at least. First of all, representing Team Eruption, it is Weird Malice. And also fighting for Team Eruption, it is Lucifer. And representing Team Shock in this fight, can they claw some points back here? It is Earthquake.
Labyrinth, come in.
And representing also Team Shock, it is Bullfrog. you can see the two teams lining up in the arena. Earthquake, the front hinge flipper, two flippers in Weird Malice and Lucifer, and a weird sort of lifter flipper combination for Lucifer. How will this fight go? We're about to find out. Ladies and gentlemen, tell me in the chat, who is it you're going to be voting for? Who is it you're going to be supporting? Stamp your feet, clap your hands, count me down. Here we go!
Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1. Activate.
So the two flippers out the gates early. And what's Earthquake doing? Trying to get an attack on the back of Bullfrog. Bit weird there. Flipping Weird Malice is Bullfrog though. The first flip that they have ever shown of late. And another coming in. Weird Malice able to self-right, get back over. Trying to flip is Earthquake, but Weird Malice and Lucifer, quite large robots, especially Lucifer here. And it is going to be a tough job for Earthquake to try and flip them over, I think. But Lucifer not able to get underneath the ground clearance of Earthquake. That is very interesting to see, and they're swapping over because I think Earthquake are finding they can get underneath Weird Malice easier, and Eruption, Lucifer of Team Eruption even, is now fighting Bullfrog, and Bullfrog even struggling with the weight of Lucifer, who's picked up Bullfrog here, turned them over and flipped them on the floor. Flipper, an excellent attack. Now get off of each other, you're on the same team. Deary me, another good attack onto Weird Malice here. Trying to flip back over as Weird Malice. Eruption's Bullfrog. No, Bullfrog isn't on Team Eruption. It's very easy for me to get confused here. Lucifer is on Team Eruption, as is Weird Malice. None of the robots look like Eruption. I think that's my issue, and I'm just loving Eruption so much at the minute. They need some points on the table. Bullfrog in on the side of Lucifer, managing to turn them over. Big there from that robot, the Bullfrog, the froggiest boy. No, you're on the same team as well. Deary me, some poor teamwork here from Team Shock. They are reeling from that last fight, I think, panicking a little. And coming in on the back is Weird Malice now flipping Earthquake over. Can Lucifer self-right from here? We will have to wait to find out. Oh, that looks like it is back over. And now coming underneath Earthquake, who need to try and self-right. And they do in fine style. Quite a size difference for these machines. Earthquake attacking Weird Malice once again. Trying to get Weird Malice over, and Weird Malice, they are over. I don't think they can self-right from there. On the floor, flipper thrown across the arena. The flipper is wide open, and they seem a little stuck to me. Lucifer turning over Bullfrog, pushing them into a sidewall. Can Bullfrog self-right? Yes, they can. Coming in for another attack on the side of Lucifer. Lucifer, however, with the forks in underneath and turning Bullfrog over again. These two have fought in the past on the UK live scene, and it's usually been Bullfrog who has come out the victor against Lucifer, but I would argue not here. Lucifer managing to get all under Bullfrog, but did they spend too long on their back earlier on? We saw them struggling to self-right. Earthquake in now underneath Lucifer, who is against the sidewall late on in this fight. Can they get down? Yes, they can. Now underneath Earthquake, and that is ceased. The fight is over. And it once again goes to the judges. Well, some poor teamwork from Team Shock there, attacking each other while there's still two opponents in the arena. Lucifer spent a long time on their back. Weird Malice stuck, but Bullfrog kept getting turned over there. How will this go? I think it's quite a close one, personally. But it is up to the chat to decide who the winner of the fight is. And the reason the Crazy Frog remix was playing is because that is the official, well, that is what we use to walk Bullfrog into the arena at live events, because why not? Because there's only one song about frogs and that is it. So there. The chat seemed to be going for a bit of Team Shock votage here, and this could be a unanimous decision for Team Shock, unless anybody is going to try and argue in the favour of Team Eruption. Lots of Team Shock votes. I think the fight is going to go in favour of Team Shock, who get the win there on the board. And I'm going to write it in now. There's another win to Team Shock. They have 2 wins on the board, and that's going to put them in good stead for the final. We may well see Manta back later. Well done to them. And Team Eruption really struggling for points in this special. They've only got one more chance to get any points on the board. If it's a win for Team Gabriel here, Team Gabriel will go through to the final. And if Team Eruption do win by some sheer dumb luck, then we will have one final fight between Teams Eruption and Ripper to decide, and Gabriel in fact, who will fight Team Shock in the final. That could be very interesting indeed. Without further ado, we move into our second spinners fight, and hopefully the spinners will work in this one. First of all, we have for Team Gabriel the wonderful, deadly, destructive Magnetar. And also joining them in the arena for Team Gabriel, it is our outgoing, now for quite a long time, President Donald Thump. And fighting for Team Eruption, like a bull in a china shop, it is Tauron. And finally, representing Team Eruption, it is Sabretooth. So there are the spinners for this fight. Who are you voting for? Who are you supporting? Let me know in the chat. And without further ado, stamp your feet, clap your hands, count me down. Here we go!
Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1. Activate.
So Tauron up to speed, as is Donald Thump, Magnetar, and Sabretooth coming for a tussle. Magnetar fast out of the gate here, the 2 big vertical spinners, and it's Donald Thump who gets the best exchange out of the 2 there. Tauron just had nothing there, and a big hit to the frame of Tauron. That is quite a weak spot for Tauron. Meanwhile, Magnetar coming in for the back. And I don't know what's happened there, but there is something going wrong there with Magnetar and Sabretooth, and I think Tauron's going to come in trying to free them up, and Magnetar self-rights and comes in underneath Tauron for a big push against the side wall. A huge hit there. Donald Thump spinning back up to full speed, and Sabretooth will need to watch out. That is quite the powerful spinner, unassuming but deadly on Donald. The drum spinner of Sabretooth now coming for an attack, and Tauron trying to get away from Magnetar. They do. Can they get their weapon up to speed? Yes, they can. And a big hit on the side of Donald Thump, and Donald is over. And the button has been pressed. The drum is spinning. All we needed in this fight was more spinners. Good lord. Can they get back from there? It's Magnetar with a push on Tauron, but spinning that spinner up into Magnetar's face. Quite the hit, and again, and pushed out of the arena. Good lord, Magnetar. Sabretooth coming in now for a look on Magnetar as well. Can Magnetar get down? I'm not sure that they can. That drum does not look well on Sabretooth. Magnetar trying their best to self-right, and they do, and it's now Sabretooth against Magnetar, and it's Magnetar with a good push, getting in underneath Sabretooth. This fight is really dogged and determined, and a huge push against the sidewall as well from Magnetar, trying to get in. That drum on Sabretooth now getting some purchase on the bottom of the wedge of Magnetar. An excellent back and forth fight, this one. Two robots are gone. Tauron out of the arena. Didn't think I'd see that in a million years. There's something on the floor of the arena. Sabretooth turned turtle here, and you can see Magnetar getting in once again underneath the arena. Button's been pressed again. It's going to be the pit of doom that opens. Now opening. There you can see. And Sabretooth, inverted, will have to try and get back down. You can see them trying to gyro back, but that drum is not a happy thing. Magnetar coming for another big push against Sabretooth, who can get back down off of the wall. Coming in now for an attack on the bottom of the wedge once again is Sabretooth, not riding up that wedge. They are the right way up again though, or are they? Now being bullied against the sidewall. Magnetar coming for an attack. Sabretooth, Magnetar, this fight, I think, will more than likely go to the judges. It's getting near that way now. There is cease, and it does go to the judges. What an incredible fight that was. And it is once again down to the chat to decide how the fight goes. In the meantime, I'm going to close the pit. Nobody went down it. No clear knockout. A judge's decision must be reached. These two robots fought long and hard in the arena. But who takes the win? Donald Thump upside down, Tauron 3 out of the arena. Not a very good showing for their first fight, but Magnetar, the powerhouse, just absolutely brutalised them into that corner. An excellent hit, I thought. And then Sabretooth had some damage to the drum, but managed to stay in it all the way to the end. I think one of their best fights ever. Few votes for Team Eruption, which would be Tauron and Sabretooth. A few for Donald and Magnetar, which would be Team Gabriel. This is a very close decision in chat, I can tell you that. Several votes going either way. A couple for Team Eruption, a couple for Team Gabriel. It cannot be a tie. I think just edging the win is Team Gabriel. Magnetar and Donald Thump take the win, which means with 2 points apiece, Team Shock will be fighting Team Gabriel in the arena in the grand final episode. Well done to these two teams. Unfortunate for the others, they fought valiantly, but to no avail. The final then is between Manta for Team Shock and Gabriel for Team Gabriel. Let's introduce them into the arena with the respect that they deserve. Representing Team Shock, it is Manta and fighting for Team Gabriel, it is Gabriel. Well, there they are in the arena, the two team captains for Team Shock and Gabriel. The teams fought valiantly, but only one of these two teams can win the whole event. So without further ado, we are going to, for the final time, stamp our feet, clap our hands, count us down, and here we go!
Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1.
So earlier on we saw Gabriel exit the arena by Uta, and the same could happen again here if Gabriel aren't careful. These two have fought quite a few times on the live scene. I would call them rivals on the live scene, to be quite honest, and Gabriel will want to get away from there. That is where they went out last time. Team Shock, Manta fighting as hard as they can. They won the first rumble, the captain's rumble. A good flip from them again here. Gabriel getting the sword in several times, connecting with the top of Manta, and another good flip. And I said earlier, it's very difficult to flip Gabriel around the arena, but Manta seemed to make it look easy. The profile of their shape, I think, very well suited to fighting Gabriel, managing to open that flipper right on the bodywork of Gabriel. Gabriel getting a few hits in with their sword. Coming in once again now for a couple of good hits is Gabriel, having to get back round, ready to fight again. Manta coming in for another push, another shove, but Gabriel getting away, managing to just escape the flipper every now and again. But what has happened there to Manta? Gabriel coming in for some hits on the weapon joint. It is where the weapon joins the body of the robot, and they're back righted again. Can they do anything with that flipper? It does not look as powerful as it did before. And a good push here from Manta, but I don't think they have the flip to back it up. No, that didn't lift up quite nearly as high. Also a limited CO2 supply on Manta, and this fight could well go to Team Gabriel. There was another bit of a flip there, so perhaps that damage earlier on was just superficial, not really causing an effect, but Gabriel managing to get all over Manta here. Quite literally, another good flip from Manta. They've got about 30 to 40 flips in that flipper in this fight, but I don't think they're going to be using all of them. There was definitely some sort of damage earlier on, or was there? The flipper now back open again, and it's Gabriel who's going to shut it for them. Very kind of Team Gabriel. They want a good fight out of this as much as the audience do. An excellent back and forth. Hits and hits over the top onto the top section of Manta. Manta is not quite able to get the flip in on Gabriel. That flipper stuck open once again, and another good hit from Gabriel, throwing over Manta. Now coming back down on that middle section of Manta, just hitting them over and over and over again, showing the judges, this is what I can do. Can Manta get up from here? I'm not so sure. Gabriel helping them out, but we are very close to the end of the fight. Another good hit, and that is that. Well done to the two teams. It does go to the judges, but I think this might be quite an obvious choice. A very fast and frenetic fight, that one. Very good action from both of these robots and their teams throughout. Very back and forth. Team Eruption have really struggled today. No points on the board. Unfortunate for them in this first section. The team's very well rounded, I think, but unfortunate. Which way is this fight going? Manta or Gabriel? That is the only decision that matters. I think it may well have been a fight of two halves. Manta came out strong to start with. Gabriel brought it home at the end, though. This could be a close one again. I think that may well be a win for Team Gabriel. We shall light up the arena in our brightest of white to celebrate the win for Team Gabriel. Well done to them. We're going to bring them all out to award them with the trophy. So Team Manta, unfortunately, Team Shock, you have to go now. You're going to go and sit over here. And we shall bring out the rest of Team Gabriel. Remembering Iron Ore 5, we had the wonderful two-headed Death Flamingo, the excellent Magnetar, and the exuberant Donald Thump. Well done to Team Gabriel, who take home the Extreme Robots title for this event. Well deserved, well fought. They go home with it. Well done to them. Thank you all so much for watching and supporting the channel. We shall see you again very, very soon for more Grand Slam action. Be sure to check out the Grand Slam 2 Raw Cuts. There is a playlist up on the channel where you can see the fight card portion of the Series 2 competition. If you've not been watching those fights, go and check them out. We're about halfway through the fight cards and about to go into the Desperado, so be sure to check that out. Be sure to check out World of Woodrow on Facebook. For more of this stuff, be sure to check out the Grand Slam Discord. There will be a link in the description when I remember to put it in there to keep up to date with what is happening with the series. And that is all for this time. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.